The original Hyundai Ioniq was bland. Look, it fitted in as a normal car in the range, but it didn't stand out as being an EV, did it? In fact, when it was driving around, you could maybe confuse it for an Elantra. And certainly there was 3 different models, 2 plug-in hybrid, and electric, so you didn't know it was a full EV. The thing about EVs is, when someone drives past you in a Tesla, you know it's an EV. And I think at this stage of the market, that's what people want. People want other people to know they're driving an EV. Well, Hyundai went and, I don't know, found someone with a very good ruler, because this is one square, sharp line car, the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Now I have to say to you first up, I have one big problem with this car through the drive review, and that is there is something shaking in this roof. I don't know what it is, but something's shaking and knocking around me. I had someone in the car with me that was actually very keen to buy one, and probably still is. And they were like, "What's that rattling?" I said, "Oh, it's probably the cable, the connector cable in the boot," because I'd had it all out. I've fixed all that up, and I can still hear it somewhere up here. I've opened and closed the sunroof. I've done everything I can. I don't know what it is. It's annoying. But this is an evaluation car, so it's probably been through the rigors. So I can only hope that the delivered cars don't have that rattle. Leaving that aside, let me give you my second big problem with the car, and then we'll talk about how good it is. It's a $70,000 car. Now, Hyundai will tell you it's not a hatchback, but it's a hatchback. I mean, no, it's definitely bigger than an i30. I can see that. You can see that just sitting on the road. And there's more space in here. In fact, when you sit in here, you absolutely do not feel like you're in a small car, because this is not a small car, and Hyundai are very clear about that. Not a small car. But on the road, it's a hatchback. On stilts a little bit, so it's got a slightly higher stance. But it still feels like a small car. And it's $70,000. And now I get it. If you were to evaluate a Hyundai Tucson or other similar sized SUVs, you'd feel this has the same space, and it probably does. In fact, I had 3 very tall teenagers in here and one 11-year-old in the middle, and it was comfortable for all. So there is leg room to the miles here, and that's one of the big benefits of this car. Fully adjustable. Those rear seats come forward, these seats go back and forward, even the center console here goes back and forward as you like. So it's very customizable in terms of space, but it's hardly an SUV. And you think about what you can get for 70 grand, it starts to pose questions upon you, which means this is still very much for the early adopter, and I can see the early adopter wanting this. In fact, I met someone who wanted to buy an electric car, and we went for a drive. She talks a lot. Kias, Hyundais, they love to tell you where every speed camera is, and I can't for the life of me turn it off in the menus. That's not a Ioniq 5 thing, that's just a Kia Hyundai thing. Anyway, this guy loved it, loved the drive, and I've got to say, so do I. I've got another EV at the moment, which is a much more, I guess, normal looking car. It doesn't have this kind of fancy interior, and it drives well, but there is actually something about this. This is well refined. You don't get that kind of weird pickup from the front end when you're coming out of driveways and stuff. So I think it's well engineered, well refined. And there are 3 great modes: Eco, Normal, and Sport. So you do get a clapping acceleration if you want it, and it will put the heads back in the seats of your passengers if you want to impress them. It also has my favorite feature of an EV, and this is my Nissan Leaf love, the iPedal. 1 pedal operation. So using the paddle shifters here, you put it all the way down into iPedal mode. Now, iPedal mode is basically 1 pedal operation. So like a scale electric, you take your foot off, take your finger off, and it would stop. With this, I take my foot off here, and it's like I'm braking to these intersections. So 1 pedal operation, excellent, and that's how all EVs should be, because it really does give you a great sense of the drive. This infotainment system is spectacular. This digital dashboard's very nice, very bright, and by the way, you can have it in dark mode at night if you like, although it doesn't seem to switch automatically. You need to do that manually. And this is your standard Kia Hyundai top-end infotainment system. So very nice, digital radio, FM, AM, Apple CarPlay, though not wireless. So wireless charger, but no wireless Apple CarPlay. Again, that is Kia and Hyundai having an argument with Google and Apple about which screen comes on first. It's ridiculous. They should shelve that argument and just give us wireless Apple CarPlay, because I don't want to have a cable here. I've got wireless charging, and it's a bit annoying. I love the look of it. It's bold, it's stark, it looks like an EV, it looks futuristic, and I think that's brilliant. I think that's the way it should be right now. But it is polarizing. I reckon 50% of people who've seen it say, ugh, other 50% say yes. I think the black isn't its best color. There's this kind of bronzy gold color, which is good. The blue, not so much. So I think I would go that bronzy gold color, definitely. I think that's a good look. I think it's good for the lines, and the exterior trim, that silver trim, would look better against that. So the black, while we own black cars, in this, it's not my go. So that's just a personal opinion. You may love it like that. The headlights and the tail lights have this great square LED effect. They're not actually square LEDs, it's just an effect in the plastic that they're in, but it's very nicely done because it gives it a bold, squared look in the lights, front and back. And it has this moustache light as well, which lights up all the way through the front bumper. Very nice. Lots of little touches. All in all, a top EV, over 400 kilometers range, double what the Ioniq had. And, you know, I don't think there's any issues around its EV capabilities. Let me be very clear. But it's $70,000. Now, they've sold out. So I'm an idiot, because here I am saying it's too expensive, and they've sold out. The first run, maybe a couple of hundred vehicles for 2021. And I think they'll sell another couple of hundred more, probably a couple of thousand more. But the big question is, drive around. Look at the i30s on the road. Look at the Tucsons on the road. When are we going to sell as many EVs as those? And we ain't going to do that while the price is $70,000. That's all. I love it. It's a beautiful car. If you've got the money to go green and go EV, this is worth your consideration. This is absolutely worth your consideration. It's a great little car, and I think you'll love it, just like I do. And I'm reluctantly taking it back right now, but I'll give it one last little squirt down the freeway, shall we? Very nice. The Hyundai Ioniq 5. Check out more details at EFTM.com. Something I forgot to mention, V2L. Now the Nissan Leaf has V2G, vehicle to grid, which means you can charge your home with your car. This is V2L, which is a little adapter that you plug into the charging port, and it gives you a standard Aussie power point. And so I charged my laptop off the car when it's parked, but you can't use it when it's driving. Obviously, it's a stupid big thing sticking out the side. But you take this camping, there's some power for you. I don't think it's a selling point, but it's a cool addition. It also only pushes out so much power, so it won't work for the wife's hair dryer, I'm sorry. So if that was your plan to get your wife camping, no such luck.